When it comes to Tesla, there's a couple things we know, and one is that there's always something in the news, and it's always big news, and some of it just so happens to be good news. Well, good news, I am back with my buddy Mark from the Tesla Life Show, and we are going to get into some of this week's best news out there because, Mark, I don't know about you, but I could use a little good news. I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Ozza. That's the bad news. is that I'm Brian. So that's fun. Look at this. Tesla Cybertruck keeps the lights on. How one owner beat Hurricane Helen's, was it Helen or Helene's blackout?
Yes, indeed. And that car already looks like it's blacked out, doesn't it?
Well, that's Shaq's. I don't think this story is about Shaq. This is about someone that Nick Cruz Patain had seen. Perhaps it is orange. If it is orange, then I probably saw it at the Florida Cyberfest because there was an orange one there. How many orange Cybertrucks are there? If you have an answer in the comments below, let us know. Because that's a thing you can do. You have that power. We do not charge for comments yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, if YouTube could find a way, they would be delighted. I don't know if you know this, but it is not limited to the Cybertruck. This is a gentleman who powered his house with a Ford Lightning.
Yep.
Which is great.
Vehicle to home charging is a spectacular thing if you've got a larger battery, like these pickup trucks do. Not only the Cybertruck, the Lightning, the Rivian, and others. Having the Hummer, having large batteries like that, Silverado, they all have huge battery packs compared to regular cars. And that, of course, allows you to, if you've got a good amount of charge in them, to keep essentials up at your house charged and using for a longer period of time, while that truck is still useful to drive and get things. So it's a plus on both ends.
It is, and I'm going to share this because it's also a huge battery compared to a Powerwall.
Yeah,
a single Powerwall has a capacity of 13.5 kilowatt hours. Your Hummer, your Silverado, your not the Lightning. I think Lightning is under 200, but even the Cybertruck has the smallest battery at something like 120, 130 kilowatt hours. It'll run 8 to 10 times longer than a Powerwall, whose whole purpose is that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fantastic. It's a good use case, and it's keeping the lights on when we need it most. Kind of good news, but I'm not sure how long they'll keep the lights on. Volkswagen has lowered the price of the ID3. So this would be at 30,000 euros. So about the price of a Model 3 in the US. I don't know. I think you need to do that.
The ID3 is not available in the US. Is that correct?
I've never seen this car in real life.
Yeah, it's not available here in Canada. The ID4 was the only one that was, well, the first one that was available. The ID3 stayed in Europe.
Yes. And I think it's because the range was considered a deal breaker by the bean counters, whose job it is to determine if a product is going to succeed. Look, guys, if you can sell a car people want, please do it. That's my philosophy.
Yep.
We could use more capacity in that regard.
And many people are looking for a small hatchback in an EV form. Like that's obviously the economics weren't correct for Volkswagen to make any money on the vehicle, then bring it to North America. That's most likely what's going on here.
That is the bottom line. The ID Buzz took forever to arrive, and when it got here, it was 70 grand. That's not your grandma's VW microbus. That's got a little bit of inflation there.
Yep.
So unfortunate. Now, I don't know if you heard this. This is news from this week, but a lot of the legacy car companies reported something interesting. Sales are down. EV sales are up. GM increased retail sales by 3%. Wait. Down 2% in the US. Okay. The company achieved another record quarter of EV sales, with 32,000 deliveries. So that's what, 300 a day. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, GM had that issue with building battery packs and slowed down to next to nothing. But they've got their act together again, and now the packs are starting to flow, and they're able to put them in vehicles and sell them. And the Blazer, the Equinox, the Cadillac Lyric, all of them using these batteries. Silverado, many of them are now selling and starting to show up on dealer lots.
Yeah. And it is about time. My concern is, of course, they did have the exciting news. Oh, the new Blazer, Equinox, whichever one, the $35,000 one is available now. To which I say, is it? Because you're losing a boatload of money on each one of those you sell. If I'm a fleet operator and I come in and say, awesome, I'll take 1,000. Are you going to tell me no, or are you going to just go out of business trying to fill that order?
It's a delicate balance, isn't it, Brian? That these auto manufacturers have to get volume up so they can get prices down. But if they push volume up too quickly, they lose more and more on every amount that they sell. So it is a tightrope to walk.
Yep. It's tricky. So more good news. The Porsche Taycan. How do you say
Taycan.
Okay. I wasn't showing it. Here you go. The Porsche Taycan. Let's see here. Porsche Taycan Turbo GT is the first to accelerate in under 2 seconds. What? Oh, the reveal. Yes. By the way, I love that the turbo nomenclature continues for no reason. Well, what it does is it uses a pump to get the electrons in more quickly.
Yes.
Now
many auto mechanics have said, what's that vacuum doing in that car?
You can add that sound, Question for the comments. There's a gentleman who runs a company that adds any kind of custom motor tone to Teslas, who has asked if I would like to interview him. And I don't know, should I interview him? Would it be a good use of time? Let me know in the comments. Now, I have heard a number of people say, well, what do you mean? It's the first sub 2 second car. Aren't there other sub 2 second cars?
Yes, there are.
What are they? Can you name 3 or 4?
Oh yeah, put me on the spot. I'm going to say the Plaid, the Tesla Model S Plaid. That was famously there.
So they tested it. This is not on a prep track. The Tesla Plaid they tested on a non-prepped surface did 2.1. That's the critical difference. This is their test. This is the car and driver test. The Lucid Sapphire is also under 2 seconds, but not in their test, or they didn't test it. I don't remember which. And the other two would be the Rimac Nevera, which very few people have tested. And well, wait, that's not in production. Sure, it is in production. It's going to be a limited run of 150. Right. How many have they built? Because I'm pretty sure in terms of customer deliveries, the number is 1. And it went to some race car driver, celebrity.
No, it went to Top Gear, and they took it off the road and destroyed it.
No, they didn't own that one. That was not a customer vehicle. That was the
company's vehicle, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had one made, and then it went to 0.
Well, it could have been worse. Instead of Richard, they could have given it to James.
Yes, indeed.
But it's a whole lot of car. And then the fourth one is the McMurtry Sperling, which does it in 1.4 seconds. And that's one you can actually buy. Place an order. You'll get it in 6 to 12 months. It's about $1.5 million. And it's an adorable little tiny Batmobile that eats records for breakfast. I don't know if I told you about the McMurtry Sperling did the reverse hill climb at Laguna Seca. The previous record was 29 seconds. And would you believe it shaved a whole 2 seconds off of it? Well, you should, because it shaved almost 8 seconds off of it. The record was 29.7, I think, and the McMurtry did it in under 22.
Reverse hill climb.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think that's what they call it. And the real bear to this track is that there's a hill climb, and at the top of it, there's a hill with a crest into an immediate turn and downhill. And you've got to let way off the acceleration or you'll go for a quick flight.
Yeah.
But the McMurtry suction cups itself to the ground like Spider-Man, despite looking like a Batmobile, and can go over it much faster.
Huh.
So at any rate, the Porsche Taycan looking good, nice and fast. And this one is priced nice and high, something like $75,000 to $150,000, depending on the options. The GT, of course, being much higher, much closer to the top of the range. So that's good news I had for the week. Do you have any additional good news that I forgot? Or is that putting you on the spot?
I would
too,
say
Mark?
that the Robotaxi event's coming up. That's going to be some good news, some interesting news.
What news is it going to be? I would like to know.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. So many of us are guessing.
What's in the box? It could be anything. It could be another box.
It most likely is.
You know, director J.J. Abrams, who was one of the producers of Lost. He's done a Star Wars movie. He's done a Star Trek movie. He's done a lot of really great. He did all the Cloverfield movies. He's the master of modern mystery, which has kind of come back to bite him in the butt a bit because it's pretty clear that a lot of his programs, when they start, you're like, you have no idea where this is going. I saw a fantastic interview with him where he explained the beauty of mystery, because mystery can be anything. When he was a kid, he went into a magic shop and he looked at all the magic stuff and it was all pretty good. But you know what? For a few bucks, you could get a mystery bag. And you know what's in the bag? It could be anything, but it's guaranteed to be at least what you paid or double what you paid. You know, we're not ripping you off. It is a mystery bag. It's got a big old question mark on it. So he bought it. And he took it home and he said, you know what? I'm going to hang on to it. I'm not going to open it yet because the mystery is better to me than what's inside. So I'm going to hang on to it.
Wow.
And he, to this day, has not opened it, which I think is an apt metaphor for the television series Lost, which never finished.
Unfortunately, the surprise, it was a gerbil and it's long dead.
It was a dove. Yeah. Happy Magic Day. So yeah, but that's to him. He's like, the mystery is more valuable than anything that would fit in the bag. Apart from, you know, like diamonds or heroin. And I'll tell you, if there's one thing kids love, it's heroin.
Oh my gosh.
So
we are officially off the rails at this point.
So leave us a comment if you're a child who just can't stop gobbling oxys, and we will do what we can to get you help, to get you referred to the correct resources.
Oh man.
Kids, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay. All right. So, yeah, do me a favor. Head on over to the Tesla Life Show, see what they're up to. I did have a chance to join Casey and Friend on Sunday, and for, you know, like an hour. And I was like, I've got a hard out at 1 p.m. He's like, yeah, I'm going to wind it down. And I don't think he did. I think he's still going. Because, you know, the news keeps happening. He's like, oh, yeah, another story just showed up. Let's cover it. How is everybody? Oh my gosh, Casey, it's been 3.5 days. You have to rest, my friend. But, you know, he's a bit like the Lord Almighty. He will rest on the seventh day. And he just lacks the wrath and vengeance, but he'll get there. We all get there. Guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? What's some good news we should cover next week? If I didn't get to something good in the news that was in the comments, that is my fault, and I apologize, but I'm a very busy man, and I do my best. So everybody else, like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when more good news breaks or we break it.